Hi everyone, I'm Justin Calvert from GameSpot. Sat with me is Dan Chiappini from GameSpot's Australia team. How you doing, Dan?
All the way across the pond for this special one.
Yeah, we've flown him over just for this video. So we want to talk to you guys about Borderlands 2 because Dan and I recently had a chance to play through what is going to be the PAX demo, right? They're going to show it at PAX East just a few days from now. So we played co-op. Well, we played through two levels. One of them was it was like a wildlife preserve, right? And the second one was some kind of sort of toxic, swampy kind of environment.
Nasty green goo everywhere, kind of rocky outcrops.
Yeah, everything was corrosive. The enemies. I came back to the office and I was just telling everyone. I was so excited. Like needle stalkers.
That's the one.
That was it. So they were. I know what I was trying to think of, like how to describe what they look like. To me, they look kind of like pterodactyls, but they weren't flying.
Yeah.
So it was like they were going around on their wings, like really awkward.
Stumpy little appendages.
Yeah, but then the thing that was cool was they could like vanish.
Yep. But I noticed that if you managed to hit them while they were kind of phase shifted, they seemed to take more damage. So
more damage.
Yeah, so if you can get them, because there was a faint sort of blue outline.
Yeah, you could see almost like a little cloud where they were, right?
And if you could hit them then, it seemed to do a little more damage, I thought, than when they were back into kind of your phase. Then there were the self-replicating robots.
Yeah, robots, a la Binary Domain.
Yep.
Like shoot their legs off and they
keep coming at you
with their arms. That was really cool. Yeah, we fought a giant blue crystallis whose name was Blue.
Yeah.
And it's like a three-legged. I mean, yeah, it's what it sounds like. It's like a basilisk with crystals on its legs, and the only way you could kill, like, only its legs were vulnerable, right?
Yeah,
like,
so kind of where
its
feet were to blast off some kind of covering shielding that would regrow after a couple of seconds.
Yeah, it had like crystalline armor, didn't it? And then that would break off, and then they were really vulnerable, but it grew back pretty quick.
They're still nasty, and there were a couple of cases where they spawned up out of the ground, so you couldn't even necessarily see where they were in advance, and we were taking on a couple of them that was kind of slowly advancing. He was really cool because, and that's another thing that's new to Borderlands 2, is that once we had killed him, because we were looking for a safe, and then we found out the safe was actually built into the boss.
Yeah, it was like part of it. It was like in his back.
Yeah.
Or something, was it? Well, and also, didn't he have a gun chest?
Yeah, he had one of each.
Part of him as well. Yeah.
So there were your item drops and the quest items, and then when you picked up your quest item, they gave you the option to turn it in one of two places. So there's now going to be a little more choice.
And then there were the Threshers.
Yep. Which
were awesome because they like come up out of the ground and they're really big.
Kind of pop the ground up physically. You can see them. Yeah. The waves.
And I feel like those were the ones where we saw the most variety, right? Because we saw we definitely saw like corrosive and electric and flaming or fiery, whatever they call them, like on some of the other enemies. But with those guys, the Threshers, we saw some different ones, right?
Well, there was the not the time warp one.
The wormhole one. The wormhole Thresher. That one was so evil.
Yeah.
It was like, so, yeah, that was it. So it comes up out of the ground.
Its mouth.
And unlike regular Threshers, this one is covered in giant spikes, just letting you know, like, don't get too close. But then
Which is the first thing it does.
Yeah, but then it also is a wormhole, so it sucks you towards it, and it messes you up real bad, as I think we found out on a couple of occasions.
Yeah.
And then there was, I'm totally forgetting the name. It was like I want to say it was like a turf thresher, which was one that, so when you look at it when it's up out of the ground, it looks like it has plants growing on its head. And that one, its whole thing, I guess, is it's just kind of camouflaged. So it leaps up at the last minute.
Waiting to pounce,
Yeah. And then Tadpole Crushes.
Yep.
Which were little small ones that were kind of
annoying.
They were like diving in and out of the ground, right? Like they were rarely above ground for any amount of time. They were just leaping around and jumping at you and stuff. They were really cool. Valkids, I think, were they were like these little insects, and they start out pretty small, like relatively harmless, but like kind of annoying because they jump around and they're difficult to hit. And I think some of them, they were flying a little bit as well, right? So they're tricky, and the problem is if you don't kill them fast enough, they can kind of go in a pod that's like a cocoon, right? Yeah. And for a long time we would just see that happen, and then we would just shoot the...
You're like, oh, pod.
Yes, and you shoot that and it blows up, you're like, oh, cool. And we must have been playing for like an hour, and we were suddenly just like,
let's just let
yeah,
this
what
thing
happens
grow.
if you just leave that thing? What does it do?
And the pod was growing pretty
Yeah,
considerably.
the pod was growing, and we're like, yeah, that's got to do something.
Yeah.
So then we let one grow. And
It was a mistake.
Yeah, so it was like a Valkid larva went in, and then it came out as an adult, right? So already it's way bigger, it's causing you more of a problem, takes a lot longer to take down. Then it went into a pod again, and we sort of look at each other, let's let it play out, see what happens. And then it comes out as a badass Valkid, and it's just like, whoa. Like that, at that point, I mean, it's like the badasses in the original Borderlands, right? Like they're like bullet sponges. They take a long time to kill.
Even in co-op,
Yeah, even with two of us there, like it was really well. I guess they scale accordingly when there's two of you, but yeah, it was taking a long time.
Then we
left it go, let it go one
badass.
more time. And by that point, the pod is like bigger than our characters, I would say, isn't it? Like it's huge. And even if you decide to kill it, it takes I think both of us would have had to focus fire on it for like a good amount of time. And when we didn't, it came out as a super badass. At which point it's practically like a boss. It's like a mini boss. Like there were also
queen?
Oh yeah, randomly. And it was like a third playthrough in that one area, I think. Like an enemy we hadn't seen before was like a queen spider ant.
Fired webbing over the screen, kind of obscured your vision.
Yeah, and it also kind of hindered your movement a bit as well, I think, right? Like if we'd thought about it, we probably should have like looked at each other to see if you could see us visually cocooned in all this spider webbing. But yeah, basically your whole screen, or not your whole screen, but a lot of your screen gets obscured, right? So you can't really see, and then you can't move as quickly. And she was accompanied by a bunch of smaller ones that were, I forget what they were called, but they were...
Sentinels, I think they were.
Sentinels, yeah. So they were like guarding her.
Yeah. Not super tough, but...
Yeah, they weren't very tough. That was our time with the Borderlands 2 PAX demo, which some of you guys will be lucky enough to play at PAX very soon. In the meantime, be sure to check out the stories that both Dan and I have written. Dan's written a preview from the perspective of a Gunzerker, which was the character he played for, like 2.5 hours, I think we played. It was a pretty good session.
Until they kicked us out.
Yeah, and mine from the perspective of a Siren. And in those, we definitely dive a bit deeper on some of the abilities that we were using and the different skill trees and all that kind of stuff.
And you can check out more on GameSpot.com.